What is going on, everybody? My name is Keenan Costain, and welcome back to a special edition of Hornets Recaps. And on today's episode, the Hornets get COBY WHITE in a trade. So without further ado, let's go over the details. Alright, so taking a look at this trade that took place yesterday afternoon, the Charlotte Hornets receive COBY WHITE and Mike Conley Jr., and Chicago receives Colin Sexton, Ousmane Dane, and 3 second-round picks in 2029, 2031, and also in 2031. While I was editing the last video yesterday, the news broke that COBY WHITE has been traded, and I thought it was a stellar move by Jeff Peterson and company making the call to get the North Carolina native and COBY WHITE in for Colin Sexton in this trade, and just to not really give up too much throughout this trade, except the 3 second-round picks. And Chicago was able to get Colin Sexton and Ousmane Dane in the trade, and with that, I just think that's a stellar trade for a backup for LaMelo Ball. Taking a look at COBY WHITE's stats with the Chicago Bulls this season, he is averaging 18.6 a game with 34.6% from three, 80.5% from the free throw line, with 3.7 rebounds, 4.7 assists, and 0.7 steals, 0.1 blocks. In the Chicago Bulls 25-26 season before this trade. So I say with COBY WHITE, I think you got some good value, you got some good experience and good size with this idea. I think with this trade, COBY WHITE could bring a presence in the leadership category since he's been in playoff situations. Taking a look at those playoff stats, he has appeared in 5 games for the Chicago Bulls from 2021, 2022, and 8.4 points a game, 3.4 rebounds per game, 1.8 assists, and with 33%, sure, that's not great, but I think with the experience and size of Colin Sexton, could bring a huge role for the Charlotte Hornets. Now, before I dive into the rest of this video, the Hornets and Bulls and Thunder, yes, a third team has been a part of this trade, with Ousmane Dane being part of the Charlotte Hornets package, but the rights of that was a trade to Chicago, and another player that was involved for the Charlotte Hornets was Mason Plumlee. So Mason Plumlee was part of this deal with Ousmane Dane. So Mason Plumlee has been sent to the Oklahoma City Thunder as part of this deal as the Ousmane Dane trade that set him to Chicago. Now, with that out of the way, let's get on to our next topic. Jeff Peterson is finding ways to make some moves throughout this trade deadline process. And last night, around 11:15, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, Tyus Jones was on the move to Charlotte for cash considerations. And with this move, it's not that big of a deal, and I just don't think Tyus Jones is going to be part of this roster. I think the Hornets are trying to make up some space, which we'll get to later in this episode in my third and final segment. So Tyus Jones was part of another trade that took place last night for cash considerations from the Orlando Magic, and with Jeff Peterson, he's finding ways to make some moves happen, trading some picks, and freeing up some cap space with other teams. And I think he's looking for something to stir the pot and to make something that's really good and later down today as I'm recording this episode. Before I move on once again, I want to say Mike Conley Jr. was also part of this trade, like I mentioned earlier, for Charlotte. And I don't think when it comes to Mike Conley Jr., he'll be part of this roster either. When it comes to Tyrus Jones and Mike Conley, I don't see them being part of this um, move going forward. So Mike Conley Jr. and Tyrus Jones could be on the way out. And even though this trade is official with the COBY White and Mike Conley Jr. moves, again, Mike Conley Jr., I can see him probably going back to Minnesota in a minimum deal. And he's getting up there in age as well. And we're just too guard heavy when it comes to the guard depth of this roster. And also, I see Trey Mann as well on the way out just to move a couple more pieces. Again, really guard heavy right now with LaMelo Ball, and you got KJ Simpson on the roster. You have Trey Mann and also COBY White. So I can see maybe Trey Mann, like I mentioned in yesterday's episode, which you can click right now, being on the move as part of a deal. So we'll see what happens. The third and final thing I want to go over in today's episode is Miles Bridges. And like I said in yesterday's episode, I can see Miles Bridges being part of a trade to add some center depth. And somebody that can stretch the floor like a Miles Turner, Domantas Sabonis, Nick Claxton could be on the move as well. And with Jeff Peterson, I really think he's not done making moves, and I sure hope that's the case. And we still have about 3.5 hours left before the trade deadline ends around 3:30, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So Miles Bridges could be on the move. So moves still to be made. We'll see, and I really hope so. In conclusion, let's see what happens here throughout the next couple hours. And I really like where this team is going. COBY White, a good presence, good leader off the bench. And again, it's a move for Colin Sexton that's really brought a lot to this team before Colin Sexton got traded. So with Colin Sexton, definitely gonna miss his presence, even though he has been traded now to the Chicago Bulls, and we're gonna miss having a young bull on this team. And just to get COBY White, who has been the leading scorer on most nights for Chicago, I think it's a steal that you can't turn back down from, and I like it. I like it a lot. So that'll do it for another episode of Hornets Recaps. Again, my name is Keenan Costain, and if you like what you see, feel free to give it a like, subscribe down below for more, and let me know your comments down below about the COBY White trade that took place yesterday afternoon. And is there still moves to be made throughout this trade deadline later today? Feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. And until next time, we'll be back with our regularly scheduled programs with the Hornets and Houston Rockets game that will take place later tonight. And until next time, have a good one. See ya.